In the secluded village of Oakhaven, nestled deep within a valley few outsiders ever find, they have a peculiar saying, "The earth here is hungry." It's a quiet way of acknowledging the unsettling speed at which their cemetery reclaims its own. Coffins splinter and bodies turn to dust in mere months, a local anomaly the townsfolk have long since accepted. They bury their dead, they mourn, and they trust the hungry earth to do its work. But one spring, after a winter of unusually heavy rain, something changed. The earth wasn't just hungry anymore. It seemed to be giving back. It started with a flicker of movement at the edge of the ancient woods that bordered the graveyard. Old Man Hemlock, out on his morning walk, saw it first. A small figure, pale and still, standing among the birch trees. He thought it was a trick of the light, but then another appeared, and another. By noon, the entire village was gathered at the edge of the town square, staring in stunned silence. Emerging from the woods, one by one, were children, dozens of them, and they were all terrifyingly familiar. They were perfect, silent replicas of every child Oakhaven had buried over the last century. There was little Timmy, who'd been lost to fever in '52, his overalls still looking brand new. There was Sarah, who'd fallen from the old oak tree, her pigtails swaying just as her mother remembered. They were flawless copies down to the last freckle, but their eyes were vacant, holding no recognition, no memory. They were beautiful, empty shells. The village, caught between hope and horror, didn't know whether to weep with joy or run in terror. The children had no voice. They didn't speak. They didn't cry. They didn't laugh. Their only action was a disturbing, delayed mimicry. When a mother would raise a hand to her mouth in shock, a child copy standing nearby would do the same, but a few seconds too late, the gesture slow and unnatural. When the villagers would turn their heads in unison to a sudden noise, the children would follow suit, their movements a ghostly, lagging echo. It was like watching a reflection in a pond, but the reflection was alive and standing right next to you. Days turned into a week, and a creeping dread settled over Oakhaven. The initial shock gave way to a chilling routine. Families tried to take their children in, desperate to reclaim what they had lost. A woman tried to teach her returned son to speak, repeating his name over and over. The boy just stared, his lips mimicking the shape of the words a beat behind her, no sound ever emerging. Another man tried to play catch with the girl who looked just like his daughter. She would raise her arm to throw the ball only after it had already bounced past her, a puppet on a delayed string. The mimicry became the most unnerving part. The children were a constant, living replay of the villagers' own actions. Every gesture, every nervous twitch, every moment of grief was mirrored back at them, delayed and distorted. It was as if the town was being haunted by its own living past, forced to watch their every move reenacted by these silent, hollow vessels. The children weren't just copies of the dead. They were becoming imperfect copies of the living. The hungry earth of Oakhaven hadn't just given back the bodies. It had unleashed a slow, creeping horror that was beginning to change the villagers themselves, one delayed reflection at a time. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy explorations into the strange and unsettling, please consider subscribing.